All right, good evening. I'm going to call this August school board meeting to order. And if you would, stand with us as we lead in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, celebrations.
Well, we have one celebration tonight. It is a really big celebration. We are super excited that Mrs. Valerie King has recently been named the Arkansas Administrator of the Year by the Arkansas Association of Gifted Education Administrators. She has also served as the president of their constituent group, as well as she is a member of the board that the governor and the Department of Education has convened to advise them on gifted and talented education in the state of Arkansas. And we're super proud to have her in our district. She represents us so well each and every day and works hard for our students, but also represents us well on a statewide stage. And so we're super happy to announce that. And when we come up, we'll...
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to work in this district. And it's really easy to work for Mr. Patrick. It's easy to work for someone who believes in you, who believes in the district. And as most of you know, I've been here a long time, and this community is very important to me. So this is a great honor that I received, and I appreciate it very much. And I appreciate your support.
Yeah, awesome.
I will say that she kept this a secret from us. I told Miss Carter and Valerie that because she's president of the organization, she put the kibosh on it. Nobody called and let me know that she'd win us. So at AAEA, we're all out there surprised when she gets called up on stage to win. So very, very proud of her. She does a wonderful job, and she is very well respected around the state, and we are very lucky to have her in our school district.
Yeah, I want to say something about that too. Valerie, congratulations as well from the bottom of my heart. I know my girls were little even when you were around, so I do know the district's important to you, and I appreciate your character, your demeanor, and your leadership in the district. So congratulations, well deserved.
And that will conclude the celebrations for tonight.
All right. Moving on, Dr. McClung, any guidelines or any patron comments? No, we do not. No patron comments tonight. All right, we will start with reports. Mr. Patrick.
Yes, I want to give a quick back to school report. I wanted to talk about, we've had a wonderful first 3 days of school. We've had minimal issues at any of the buildings, and the issues that we have had have been navigated very graciously throughout the district. Everybody has worked really hard. The kids seem to really be back into a groove in the buildings. You walk around, you see them smiling, talking, having a good time. Steve and the transportation department has done a fabulous job. We have probably broken records for the quickest getting kids home during the first week of school. Yes! We had everybody home, I think, on Monday or Tuesday by 5:13, 5:30. Yep. So we did our bus drivers and transportation, but also not just them, our administrative teams and all of the teachers and people that work in the buildings that help get kids to where they're supposed to be, especially those littles who don't even know where they're supposed to be. You know, like we had, I know I drove a bus that Tuesday afternoon, and I had to circle back around a couple of times because we had some little bitties get off at the wrong place in the afternoon, and they would call me and say, "Hey, so-and-so's here. He's supposed to go there." "All right, I'll be right back." And we pick him up and get him but it was a really good deal. I'm really pleased with how school started. It's going to be a really exciting year. Everybody seems to be running really well right now with and super positive in our buildings, and so hopefully we can just keep that going. So I wanted to kind of talk about that. Second, I wanted to give an update on federal funds. If you'll remember, I think it was last month, I talked about the fact that the federal funds were being held up at the federal level, even though they had been approved and signed into law. They were being held up by the Department of Ed. They have since stated that they will be released and that they have sent guidance to the states on what they're going to do. The state is still waiting to receive those funds, but we have been told from the state to move forward and to not expect any cuts to our allocations that we were previously given. That's important for us because that's, in our school district alone, the funds that we were talking about were $400,000, and all $400,000 of those dollars were based on salaries where we've hired people with those federal funds to work with kids. So that's a big positive for the school district. Third, real quick, as you know, we were named in the lawsuit on that was suing us, Bentonville, Fayetteville, and Springdale on the validity of the newly enacted Act 573, which is the act that says if somebody donates the 10 Commandments, either in poster or plaque form, if it meets certain guidelines, then you're required to put them up in every classroom. The judge has made an injunction ruling and has put an injunction on that act until it goes through the complete judicial process. So it doesn't mean that the law is struck down. What it means is that we are in a holding pattern and we are not allowed by the judge's injunction to put anything up. And I will tell you, we've had a community member donate those posters and so we are waiting to see what the judge tells us to do. We will, as always, comply with the law and do the legal thing that we're supposed to do. So if the judge if they goes through that process and says it upholds and it's legal and the law is pushed forward, then we will put those posters up. If they find otherwise, then we will we will call the person that donated those and ask them if they want those back. So, but I have a feeling this is going to take several months. That's what our lawyer tells us. I don't think this will be a quick decision. And I know that the Attorney General's office is involved and is representing the state in this matter at this time. So I think at this point, there's nothing left for the school district to do but wait and see. And the last thing is I wanted to have Paige come up and give a report over the communications, her department, and the things that she's done over the last year, and then talk a little bit about our strategic plan.
Hi, guys. All right, so today, these are just a few of the things I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to get in the weeds of the plan. If you have the need to read it, you can go and read it. It's on our website. It just talks about operations in my department of one. The top things I'm going to hit on is the media relations and branding. With media relations, I think the biggest benefit of my role thus far is just being that main point of contact with traditional newspapers, 4029, KNWA, things like that, prepping our staff for interviews and things along that nature. The second thing is our branding, making sure people stay on brand, use the right logos, right colors. We have a very specific maroon. It can go really red, really dark, really pink. So just repping the brand correctly. Next is our website stats. So we use Google Analytics for our websites. We have some pretty big numbers. That's because it's a full year. I really want to work on the bounce rate in our website. So just having people stay on our website, look at all the great things. I want to try and fix that by about 5 to 10%. Next is our social media stats, so our Facebook. We've got some pretty large numbers there. That's because the millennials and above are Facebookers. Grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, they're all on Facebook. You can see our top content to the right. Pretty viral this year, over 100,000 views on Mr. Crayson's video. If you didn't see it, go see it. It was that week when we had that weird snow week, and I was just trying to get more creative ways to say we're out of school once again due to safety. Crayson came in clutch, and he said yes, and he did whatever it took, and it was singing and recording himself. Lastly, the fourth top thing on our social media on Facebook was welcoming Miss Marianne to the board with 50,000 views. Next, we have our Instagram. So you can see that the numbers really drop. And again, that's because our demographics are Facebookers. Instagram is where we hit our kids, our students. The top content there is our high school graduation with 5,000 views. And then we have, again, Crayson Cleveland with another video with 3,000 views. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you. Our back to school breakfast was last week, and I've heard from several people it was the best one yet, and it was the best day ever. Our Chamber of Commerce is phenomenal. We love them. They do it year after year. We have a bunch of businesses who donate prizes. They set up booths, all that great stuff. We had Chef Andrew from Simmons come and prepare the breakfast. That was phenomenal for our food service staff that didn't have to wake up early, go cook, clean it up, be late to the program. So that was just phenomenal. Our PTO members helped serve that breakfast. And then just all the internal people who helped along. It's a big event and takes a lot of people, and we're just extremely grateful for our team here. Yep.
Good job, Paige.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
So I'm going to add something. Paige won't give herself credit. Paige took a monster role in back to school breakfast. She jumped in. She was the coordinating person with the chamber. She was the coordinating person with Arvest on T-shirts for the staff. She's the one that got the band and the choir and the cheer and all of those people put together. She's the one that reached out and helped to the chamber, saying we want our food service people to be able to enjoy it. It was a team effort, but she's the one, and she's the brainchild behind a lot of that. And she's done a wonderful job. She's super nervous to be speaking, but she does a great job. And we are very, very happy that she is in our district. She brings a lot of know-how and smarts and creativity. And a lot of the things you see out there that are going on in our district are come out of her brain. So very, very thankful to have her.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
I think that concludes my report.
All right. Since you talked about the opening of school, before we get to Miss Carter, I'll also say that the back to school breakfast was phenomenal. Very, very good. It was excellent. Great morning. And then also I wanted to tell Miss Natalie Hutto, thank you for letting me be at the first day of school at Allen on Tuesday. Got to hold door and greet kiddos and say hello, and everything was fantastic. So thank you for the privilege of letting me do that. Enjoyed that. Yep. All right. We will move on to Miss Amy Carter. You are passing it on. All right.
Good evening. I'm going to give a brief update on our gifted programs and AP testing. For our gifted programs, we currently have 304 students who are identified as gifted, which is approximately 7% of our student population. Because we are in our first week of school, these numbers are fluid as we're trying to determine students who have dropped, students who are enrolling, and those will kind of level off in the next few weeks. We have 6 licensed and 1 classified staff. Our program options for our gifted programming, we provide STEAM to all students K-4, which is approximately 1,500 students, give or take a few. We're teaching all of the science standards. We're also teaching our GT standards with those, so we're providing that service to every single student K-4. In addition to that, for our identified GT students, we have a resource room or a pull-out program for grades 3 through 6. We have a new GT teacher this year for Southside, Cecia Espinal, and we're super excited to have her. She is a fantastic teacher. She is coming out of a 4th grade classroom, and she is ready to go, doing a fantastic job already. For grades 7 and 8, we have scheduled classes. So students have the opportunity to schedule a class at the middle school, or they can take a wide range of honors courses, many of which are offered for high school credit. At our high school level, students can participate in AP or concurrent credit courses. There are also CTE pathways, which have concurrent credit courses now embedded in them. And those can also lead to certifications or technical certificates. And we also provide acceleration, either a partial grade or whole grade as needed. So every year we either survey or we have informal conversations with students, teachers, parents, administrators about our program. Are we meeting expectations? Are there things that we need to improve on? So our goals for this year will be to develop transition procedures between grade levels and buildings. So we're going to strengthen what that looks like as we're moving students between buildings and also between grade levels and how we're supporting those students. Next, we're going to develop new and support existing accelerated learning opportunities with the Access Law enacted. It's giving us some new opportunities for programming for high ability students, and so we're excited that we're going to, over the course of this year, set some systems and things in place so we can begin providing bigger and better opportunities for our students. And then we're also reviewing for our GT teachers our current curriculum. So all of our classroom teachers have high quality instructional materials, and so GT teachers write their own curriculum. So they have been charged with reviewing their own curriculum and making sure that what they are teaching is above and beyond what the regular classroom provides, because that's what we should be doing in a gifted setting. So those are our kind of a quick review of our gifted programming. Do you have any questions about that? Next, we're going to talk about our advanced placement trends. We took AP exams in May of this past year. Scores came out in July. So we have a five-year trend data up here for you. In 2021, that was our pandemic year, so College Board had a few months to flip traditional testing and make it online, where students were having to take those exams at home. That had never been done before, and it was a bit of a mess. But our students at a 46th percentile scoring a qualifying score, that was not bad considering it was that year. But as you see, each year we've moved away from the pandemic. We have improved our scores to the point that this past year, 74% of our students who are enrolled in AP programs made a qualifying score of a 3 or greater, which in the state of Arkansas awards them college credit at a state institution. So we are very, very pleased with that. If you were to click on the AP test score link in the upper left-hand corner, we administered 20 exams this year. 17 of those exams, our students scored above the state average. 8 of those exams, our students scored above the state average and the global average. And one of those exams, our students scored above the state average and met the global average. So almost all of our exams taken, students were scoring at or above the state level, and in many cases above the global level, which speaks volumes to our teachers who are teaching those courses and the hard work that our students are putting into those courses, because those are not easy courses. Those are college level courses and are very rigorous. And so I think this is a true testament to our teachers and our students and what they are able to accomplish and what they're doing.
Good.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Keep it up,
Thank you.
Mallory. That's all I would
Yeah.
say is just
Yeah.
keep that up. That's wonderful.
Students are doing great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Tonight, I have the pleasure of sharing a quick overview of a piece of our plan to address the needs of our students who may have challenging behaviors. And also, I'm going to include how we're going to provide support to the adults who work with them. This process began 8 or 9 months ago. We started looking for more resources and more training to help us deal with the increase in student behaviors that not only that we're seeing, but are seeing across the nation. So in doing all of that research, we were introduced to a philosophy called Behavior Intervention Support Team, or you'll probably hear us refer to it as the BIST philosophy. So we started our research in this model. We set up some times to visit some schools who were using it. And in January, we actually took a team of administrators to Kansas City to learn more about the BIST philosophy. So we attended a leadership conference. And at that conference, we had the option to visit several different schools. And so we were actually able to see what it looks like in action with students. So far today, we've had well over 65 staff members, including administrators, teachers, paras, even central office staff who were trained in the BIST model. So we really wanted to do was find a way to cultivate behavioral change instead of just managing it. And that's what led us to the decision to implement BIST. It's a comprehensive school-wide behavior intervention and management model. So what is BIST? Well, BIST is a proactive and preventative model that was started about 35 years ago in Kansas City. So it's been around a long time. It's in a lot of states, and it's designed to equip students with the skills necessary to succeed in both school and life. And it's really interesting because it's built on a balance of grace and accountability. So I think all of our people who've been trained would tell you that that's a key piece to it, is understanding what that looks like. What is a balance of grace and accountability? So we will be utilizing that idea to empower our teachers, administrators, parents, and our students to enhance learning and to help eliminate disruptive or harmful behaviors while offering support and holding students accountable for their actions. I think our trainer probably explained it best by saying grace without accountability is enabling, but accountability without grace is adversarial. So you need both. We realize that students often engage in those misbehaviors as a result of a missing skill, but we still can't ignore the behavior. So simply put, if it won't work on the job, it can't work in our school system. And our goal is to provide the support needed and maintain consistent expectations. Behaviors must be taught. And when students struggle repetitively with behavior, it's actually about the student's missing skill, not about adult inadequacy. So along with the grace and accountability, another key principle of BIST is using a skills-based approach. So when we identify chronic behaviors, adults are encouraged to look beyond the behavior itself and really pinpoint the underlying missing skill. So some of those missing skills might include just having difficulty managing an uncomfortable feeling or overwhelming emotions, an inability to cope when others are struggling, lack of perseverance when faced with an undesirable or challenging task. These missing skills then can be connected to what BIST calls 3 life goals. And those are: I can make good choices even when I'm mad. I can be okay even when others are not okay. And I can do something even if I don't want to or it's hard. I think those are great goals for our kids, but I think in my life, I found pretty good goals for me as well. Those missing skills are important. for our kids. And I think we need to help them cultivate those skills in order to be successful. Implementing the BIST philosophy will require time and a collective effort, and it's definitely not an overnight solution. But we know if we work together, partner with our families, that we can see some really great things. The BIST model provides opportunities for students, teachers, and families to collaborate in problem solving and skill development to foster that success in both school and life. We believe that every student and every adult is worthy of success, and we are dedicated to providing the resources needed to make that happen. So the BIST philosophy, there are a lot of details in it. I gave you just a little snippet of it, but do you have any questions for me?
Go ahead.
I'll say I'm very excited about this, using this method. I had a chance to speak to a teacher last night, and she kind of gave me the where the rubber meets the road explanation of what the processes are and the safe seat, and heard all the how that works. So, I would say I think it's a great philosophy, and I'm excited to see how it goes. I would just encourage our team to really buy in and hold ourselves accountable and really stick to it, because I think we will see some big improvements if we do that. So I'm very thrilled, excited, and I think you guys picked a good one. So thank you.
I want to add this. I had the privilege of really going around to some of the schools and seeing the PD that our administrators were providing to teachers and staff. And so every school provided some training on BIST. And these administrators are the experts in the room, and they did a phenomenal job presenting that to staff. And I didn't see one thing in the schools that I was in that indicated that teachers weren't on board with it and excited. I think it's something they've been asking for.
Good, thank you.
How do we measure this?
No, that's a good question. They've given us some examples. So Mr. Bergsold mentioned, it's really called a kind of a placement continuum. So there's some things that kids can do or teachers do for kids in a preventative or proactive way that is intended to curb or stop the behavior. So I think we can track how many times they visit those things. So if you start out and a student is removed to what's called the safe seat or the buddy room, or they go into recovery, somebody shared a spreadsheet with us where they were actually tracking those things to see that it did actually decrease the behavior, and they had kids who started out having to go to probably what we would consider the most restrictive placement were able to work themselves back through it, develop the skills, and that was no longer a need. So I think we can track it that way. That's our plan. We are still working on developing something district-wide that would work to track that. Good question.
I think it's super important for us all to understand that there is no silver bullet. There is no overnight change. We're all of a sudden we're a BIST, so tomorrow we don't have bad behaviors.
Right.
Or behaviors that we want to work on. I shouldn't say bad, but the behaviors that we want to get better at. But I do think that over time, with us keeping our focus on doing the things that we know will work and improving our skill set as the adults so that we can continue to help those kids develop those skills, that over the next year, 2, 3, we're going to see a huge difference in the behaviors. Now, are we going to solve all the world's problems, even if we're the best? They will tell you in Kansas City, they've been doing it at some of those schools for 35 years. They still have behavior problems that this has not helped. But the numbers of behavior problems they really help them a lot. So I think it's important for us to understand that it's not an overnight fix, but it is something that will help us long term. But I don't know anything that's an overnight fix that was ever worthwhile anyway. It doesn't usually fix things. It just usually covers it up.
I will say that the first time I heard of BIST was when Mr. Patrick mentioned it at the back to school breakfast, and then I saw it on the agenda. So I started digging into it a little bit myself just to learn a little bit more about it. I was extremely impressed. I'm really happy that the district's going to take this on. And I had the question the same as Mr. Lamb, so you answered that already, but being able to track, what schematics are we going to use to be able to track how's this working, and totally understand that takes, consistency just takes time. So I get that, but I am excited that we're doing it. I think it's a great step in the right direction. So thank you to all involved.
And I think that it's a simple, it's not a clunky model. It's simple. And I think, again, I'm going to give kudos to our administrators because they delivered clear, consistent, concise message to their staff across the board. So what you hear at Northside is the same as what's being said at the middle school.
right.
And I think that is also key to the success.
Yeah. And I can't say enough about the balance of grace and accountability. You said it perfectly. Man, that just speaks volumes to me. I think this is very good. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Is that all of your? All right. Good job, ma'am. All right, we'll move on to Dr. McClung.
Yeah, so first up tonight, we have a update on the intermediate school entrance remodel. For that, we have Christian Salazar of C.R. Crawford and Mike Spade of Build Architects. I'll give you a quick update.
Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
Good deal. So my name is Mike Spaeth, Christian Salazar, architect and construction manager for your intermediate school addition. So if you drive by the intermediate school, you'll see that a lot of what you would see or would have seen a couple months ago is gone with regard to the entrance, the main entrance portico, the canopy, and there's a lot of dirt work that had been done in that former courtyard. So where they're at right now is they did excavation and then they brought back engineered fill to place a pad. And then the next steps is to dig foundations so they can lay rebar and start pouring footings. Following that would be a slab, but in between that there's some slab underground that has to be done in the form of plumbing and electrical work as well. I do want to report that they did uncover a little bit of groundwater while they were doing excavation. It wasn't significant like we normally see. They had third-party testing go out and review just the amount of water, and it was just a little bit of parched water. It wasn't anything that they were concerned about, but we did decide to upgrade the vapor retarder that's underneath the concrete slab to a vapor barrier. And they think that it's just due to a lot of the recent rains that we had that just caused just a little bit. Certainly wasn't anything like we had seen like at the high school, at the parking lot area, just north of the intermediate school. So we feel pretty good about the upgrade to the membrane. In addition to that, as they're excavating, they also uncovered some water, or some water lines that weren't shown up in a survey. Those things weren't documented. I don't know that even Randall knew that they were there, but they quickly remediated it, they capped it, and they restored services to that. So the good news is that once they're completed excavating for the footings, that should be the last of it, and then we go vertical from there, so no more surprises. At this stage in construction, I'm providing support to C.R. Crawford by reviewing submittals, by checking RFIs, and attending OAC meetings, owner, architect, contractor meetings, twice a month to assist them, answer questions, and try to help resolve any issues should they come. But otherwise, stay out of the way and allow them to do what you guys hired them to do. At this point, I'll turn it over to Christian.
I think Mike just basically laid everything out on track, on schedule. It looks like we're expected to be finished around December 30th. And so I guess you guys can write that down and keep us to that.
Are you sure?
So, hopefully the weather is on our favor from here. And so if anything changes with that, obviously we'll definitely keep Shane and the construction team up to date on that and let anyone know that if there's any fall in the schedule that we'll keep you guys updated. But as of right now, we're on schedule. We don't foresee anything holding us back for meeting that date in December, but we'll definitely keep everyone updated and make sure that we hit that mark. So
Very good.
but that's all I got.
And I would like to add, starting the next board meeting, I'm going to start doing presentations like you had seen in the past. It's just, I had spoken to Dr. McClung and to Shane that there's not a whole lot to show other than a bit of excavation and some backfill. I would probably only have 2 slides to show, but next board meeting, I'll have 2 months worth of progress to show you. So at that point, you'll probably start seeing elements of the building going would make for a more interesting slideshow. Look for that next school board meeting.
Appreciate it.
Maybe the only question I would have, so going from a vapor retarder to a vapor barrier, so is that a change order?
Nope. So our sub had already included in their contract,
Okay.
and so it's going to be no change order at
Okay,
all.
good.
So
We considered taking the deduct of having them providing what was specified, but in light of the discovery, we decided to have them provide what they had submitted.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Very good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you guys.
I do want to say too, appreciate CR's work and Christian's work to help us. We've hit a few snags on trying to get supplies in, and Christian's worked very hard to keep us on time with that project. Next up, I'm going to ask Mike to come back up. We have a report. Later on tonight, we'll be bringing a recommendation for a bid for our roofing repairs at Allen, Southside, and Intermediate. Mike will be giving you an update on that bid process.
So I do want to take us all back a couple of months. The school district had hired my company to provide drawings to do re-roof for Allen Elementary School, Southside, and also the intermediate school. And at first, after talking with Mr. Patrick, I wasn't quite believing what he was telling me until I had to see it for myself, just how widespread the hail damage was, especially at the intermediate school. So during the month of July, I had worked on drawings to do a complete demo of the roofing system and insulation underneath down to the existing metal deck. And this would be for essentially all of intermediate school with the exception of the two high roof areas that are standing seam metal roof, all of the membrane roof at Allen Elementary School, and then two areas of South Side that is a PVC roof. So all three locations have an existing PVC roof that have hail damage. The total combined square footage is about 170,000 square feet. 110 is at intermediate. We have about 60-ish at Allen, and maybe about 7,000 at Southside. We ran our first ad, our legal ad, I think it was the last Sunday in July, and then we ran another ad the first Sunday in August. And then on August 6th, we had a pre-bid meeting, and at that time we had 12 respondents to the legal ad, maybe 13, I can't remember. But all but two of those showed up to the pre-bid walkthrough. So starting at 9 o'clock, we walked completely around the intermediate school. And then about an hour and a half later, we went to Allen Elementary School. We went up on the roof there. And then we went to Southside as well. And so we had our bid opening this past Tuesday. And so of the, I believe, 12 plus respondents to the ad, and then I think maybe 10 of those that attended the pre-bid walkthrough, we had 5 bids. And so the 5 companies was Kuntz Roofing, First Star, Midwestern, RBT, and Stearman. And Kuntz Roofing was low at $1,596,750. The next low was Midwestern Roofing at $1,749,260. And then the third was Stearman Roofing. They're at $1,975,200. I'm sorry, I don't expect y'all to keep track of these numbers. Dr. McClung will follow up later tonight. But then we had First Star at just over $2 million, $2,064,600. And then RBT, they're based out of Texas, and their number was $2,257,860. So there certainly was a lot of interest when the legal ad first hit. It's possible that some of the companies, when they performed a walkthrough, they probably saw a good bit of competition. I certainly expected more bids on bid day, but I think having 5, even if it was 5 out of 20, I would be happy. I think I would be a bit disgruntled if we only had 1 or 2, but to have 5, I think was a good turnout, all things considered. But the system that we're specifying is an Elevate system, and so again, we're going to be tearing down to the existing metal roof deck, and we're going to be coming back with rigid polyiso insulation and mechanically fastened 60 mil TPO roof. So we are removing PVC roof and we're bringing back or replacing it with TPO roof. Any questions? Sorry, that's a mouthful.
So how'd the existing standing seam roofs that we had, how'd those handle the hail?
I think there's some dings, but there haven't been any reports of any leaks in those areas reported to me. There are a couple of pop-up areas that, as constructed, don't have any gutters or downspouts. So as part of this re-roof project, I'm having the roofer add in gutters and downspouts just so we don't have rainwater washing from those green pyramid pop-ups onto the new TPO. But you can see some dings. For sure.
So I'm in the industry, and so I have a bias, but I would just ask you if the standing seam roofs were fine, not leaking, withstood the hailstorm, and then is it PVC roofs that were the ones that got bombed out that are
Yes, sir.
toasted? Okay. So, and then do we have some TPO roofs as well?
We do, but none of those are being demoed and replaced.
Okay.
Those appear
Those
to be fine.
avoided.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They appear to be fine.
Is there any thinking that if we're going to buy a new roof, that we should go with a little bit more durable roof product, like a metal roof?
Well, the thing with intermediate school is that the structure is 1/4 inch per foot slope, and I certainly wouldn't recommend a standing seam roof at that shallow of a slope. We could look at constructing or building up on the roof to increase the slope of the roof, but then you're paying for additional framing just to support metal panel, which per square foot I think is going to cost more than a TPO roof. The building itself, I like to pick on intermediate because it's so big, but the roof perimeter is parapet and it's flashed with coping. So I think the appropriate roof system would be a membrane roof and the structure is already a 1/4 inch per foot slope. So minus building crickets to increase insulation for shedding water around things like RTUs, all you have to do is come back with 4 inches of rigid polyiso.
And there's I guess we have a lot of penetrations in that roof.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We do.
Okay. I'm satisfied. I just wanted to ask and see if it was an option.
Yes, sir.
But thank you.
I was waiting for him to ask. He's the sheet metal and building guy, so.
Okay.
So this would be an action item. So later on in the action item time, there'll be some further discussion about those bids and what the recommendation we have moving forward at that time. But I wanted them to be able to explain what type of roof, the process that we've gone through to this point during the report time before we get to the action item.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Randall Bollinger, who's going to go over some summer projects and some of the things that maintenance crew has been working on this summer.
Good evening. I'm going to kind of go over what we did this summer. The first 3 projects are ones that y'all approved that we brought to you back earlier in the year to get approved. Whoa, slow down. This is our flooring project at the intermediate. This new floor in some of our classrooms over there. Here's in our hallways with a border at our doorways and at cross aisles and around the walls. It turned out pretty good. I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to get over there and see that yet. We brought that project to you back in March to get approved to do. We brought one to you, bid approvals to you to do to reseal and stripe our middle school parking lot. A couple of shots of that while they were there striping. They wasn't 100% complete yet, but got it done. And then this here is the exterior paint that we brought to you to get approved. There at the middle school, that's at the south building looking to the north. It's got the backside of the arena and the west end of the building. And here's the north building. For those of you that's been around for a while, there used to be a blue stripe around the top of that building. It is now gone. Nobody could ever figure out why we had a blue stripe. So Mr. Patrick told me to make it go away, so it went away.
Glad you did that.
If you got any questions on that. The other thing, I pulled a report this morning out of our work order system. From May 28th through today, we've completed 620 work orders throughout the district. That could be anything from painting some classrooms at intermediate or middle school, high school, changing ballast. I mean, so 620. And we do that. We have 9 maintenance guys and 12 custodians on staff. And that's the folks that did that 620 work orders. So, awesome. Y'all have any questions for me?
I have one question. Is the paint at the middle school, Was that page approved? The scheme, that maroon scheme, was it
It
approved?
is the right color of maroon.
Okay.
We did not get her input on where we put it, but
Well, the blue stripe's gone, so
blue
we'll
stripes
say
on.
it's
That's
good.
what was important.
Thank
So,
you. Appreciate
thank
it
you.
very
Yes, sir.
much.
That turned out really nice.
Yes, it did. Looks
Looked
good.
good. Very good. I'd drive by.
That actually turned out better than I ever thought it could turn
Yeah, it
out.
was
They,
really
they did a
nice.
really good job.
Yeah.
So in the summer, people always think that's our slow time, but really as Randall illustrated, it's go time for our maintenance department. It's amazing the amount of tickets they get done in that amount of time. Another group that I want to talk about in their efforts over the summer is our cafeteria staff and our Seamless Summer Feeding Program. So Seamless Summer is just as it sounds. We try to provide meals for our families throughout the summer in June and July. Whenever we talk about feeding in the summer, we have 4 categories in which we feed our students. We have on-site, which this year was hosted at the middle school because of its central location. We have mobile or non-congregate. This, as you can see, is our most popular one. This, just as it sounds, we load up school buses full of meals and we take them to our neighborhoods and provide those to our families. And then we have summer school, which whenever summer school is in session, we provide to those students. And then we have our off-sites. So just a few examples of those would be Boys and Girls Club, summer camps that we host, and things of that nature. So on the June totals, I have, and this may differ from what you had in your presentation, I noticed or in your packet, I noticed an error in the numbers earlier today. But as you can see, for our total number for breakfast and for lunch, for the month of June, we had a 21 days total served, and then we had just over 9,000 breakfast meals served, and then we had we had 10,000 over 10,000 lunch meals served in the month of June. And if we go over to July, very similar numbers, served a few more days in July. Part of that is because it's actually spilled over into August. Our last day of feeding was August 1st. Again, just outstanding numbers. For breakfast, we had over 7,000 meals served, and then nearly 9,000 meals served for lunch throughout the July. And what's really amazing is when you look at the grand totals. So thinking about the amount of time and work that that our kitchen staff puts in to make this happen, we had over 36,000 meals served to our families over the summer, which is just incredible when you think about it over the course of 45 days. So that's helping fill the gap for a lot of our families and filling a need for our families. So couldn't be more proud of the work that they put in, and the numbers speak for themselves on that. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you to them and thank you to the staff. Appreciate it.
All right. And then up last for my section.
Say one thing real
Yeah, go
quick,
right ahead.
Dr. McClung. One thing I want our public to understand is they did those 36,000 meals. There's not one person that worked in the cafeterias this summer, with the exception of Miss Louise, who's on a 240-day contract, that didn't choose to come work extra. That's not part of our food service workers' regular contract that they get to work in our school district. They volunteer to come in and they do get paid, so it's not like they're doing it for free, but they don't have to come in and do that in the summer. And they give up their time off that they have. A lot of people that work in our food service like that summer, just like teachers like to have a little bit of time off, and they gave that up to come in. So kudos to them to being willing to come in and serve those meals, prepare and serve those meals for those kids. I'm extremely proud of that group.
Absolutely. Great. And then last up, as you may be aware, over the summer, Lieutenant Bartley received a promotion to Lieutenant of Special Operations Division and Community Relations. We greatly appreciate the work that she has done in that role as Sergeant of our School Resource Officers. With that said, it's my pleasure to introduce you Sergeant Josh Fritz, who is our new Sergeant for our School Resource Officers, and he's going to tell you a little bit about the program and introduce his staff for this year.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sergeant Josh Fritz. I have been honored to serve with the Silent Springs Police Department for the past 11 years. 10 of those years have been with the school district. I've had the privilege of working at every school in the district except Southside. Sorry, Southside. And no, I'm not going to tell you what my favorite school is. It is my honor to have been promoted to sergeant and have the privilege to lead these exceptional SROs. Before I introduce them, I'd like to share a little bit about the history of our program. Our program, from what I've best found, is we've been around for about 30 years. 95, 96 is when the SRO program started, which was ahead of its time. As you all know, Columbine happened about in 99. That's when SRO programs really started off in the country. We had one earlier than that. We've maintained that ahead of the curve mentality, with Chris Sally developing one of the first solo officer response programs in the nation. He taught that around the country. He continues to teach it around the state of Arkansas. Many of our team members are instructors with the Advanced Law Enforcement Rapid Response Training programs. We've got several different classes that we teach to law enforcement, fire departments. We teach at the academy, and we teach our school district every year in one of the active shooter training classes that Alert puts on. We also train a lot of the businesses in town. So we're trying to stay ahead of it in the curve on that stuff too. Over the past decade, I've been an SRO. We've had a lot of cool achievements. Two of our SROs have served on the Safe Schools Association, Arkansas Safe Schools Association board. Chris Sally and Deandra Bartley are currently on the board. We've had a couple of Arkansas state awards given to a couple of our SROs over the past 10 years. Our team's developed several classes for students, staff, parents on topics like drugs, alcohol, internet safety, law enforcement related stuff. And our Officer Underwood over here has taught at the Safe Schools Conference every year for the past couple of years too. He teaches juvenile slang. That's a fun one. We have also created a lot of engaging programs with the city. We do our police and fire camp every year. That has been a huge hit, and we have 1 million stinking applications for that every year. Unfortunately, we can only take about 50 per age group. Officer Harrington spearheaded a Next Gen program, Next Gen Explorer program, where we actually take older high school students who are interested in law enforcement for a week and kind of teach them a little more in depth on what it looks like to be an officer and what that career can look like. Our mission with the SRO program is to continuously improve as protectors, mentors, and teachers. Our district and our community is huge to us, and we love fostering the exceptional partnership we've had with the district over the past several decades. I can say with absolute confidence that every member of our team is deeply committed to the safety and well-being of our students and staff in the community. And with that, I'm proud to introduce the SROs this year. Starting at the youngest school, going to the oldest, at North Side, I have Officer Tyler Underwood with his, it's Officer Cyber and his handler, Tyler Underwood. He's got K9 Cyber with him. He's been in law enforcement for about 15 and a half years and an SRO for about 5.5. Four and a half of those were in Greenland School District and one with us. He's starting his second school year with us. At Allen Elementary, we have Officer Harrington. Jonathan Harrington has been with the police department for 7 years and for 4.5 with the school district. At Southside, we have Corporal Jeremy Brown. He's been in law enforcement for 16 years and has been with our PD for 4 and 3 as an SRO. I didn't mention Officer Corporal Brown and Officer Underwood both also help cover MSA, our Main Street Academy. So I've got 2 guys kind of tag team in that one, which has been awesome this year, making sure they get the coverage they need. Where are you guys? At the intermediate school, one of our newest officers, Officer Tyler McVeigh. He's been with the police department 3 years, and he's been with the SRO program for 2 weeks. At the high school, I'm stationed there. I'm in Lieutenant Bartley's old office up there in the academic wing, but I also have with me Corporal Dan Brown. He's been in law enforcement for Dan Newton. I apologize. My bad. I don't know why I said Brown. Dan Newton, he's been in law enforcement 11 years, 3 years at RPD, and again, 2 weeks as an SRO. I'm really excited to have McVeigh and Newton on our team. They have great attitudes and they're connecting with the students already really well. So
I just want to say, I'm a Silent Springs graduated in 2011, so
All right.
it's an honor to be part of the team.
yep.
Excellent. Very cool. Can I say something? So, Josh.
I'm so sick and nervous, I left one of our reserves out. I'm butchering names and forgetting people, and I got a list sitting right in front of me, too. I apologize. The middle school, Francisco Rico Bonilla, he's been in law enforcement for 10 years, with the PD for 1, and this is his second year as an SRO, so he's been with us for a year, too. So I apologize, guys. I'm nervous standing up here.
We'll stay there for a second. So, officer, what is your new title now?
Sergeant
Fritz. So I've known Sergeant Fritz since he was a little kid, and to you officers that are under his leadership, if you want any stories, I can share some funny, incriminating maybe stories. But I just want to say how thankful I am that you are in this position of leadership. You're probably one of the men of highest character I've ever known in my life. So I'm very grateful that you've stepped into this position, and thankful for the rest of our group. You guys do really important work and a lot of times tough work. So thank you all, and congratulations.
Appreciate that.
Sergeant Fritz. Well done.
Congrats, Sergeant Fritz.
That's it. All right. We will move into our action items. Bambi, would you let the minutes show that we do have an established quorum? And we will begin with the consent agenda.
You had the consent agenda in your packet. I can answer any questions you might have, but I would recommend that you approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carried. Number 2, the July financial statement.
For once in y'all's life, I don't have a whole lot to say. July doesn't have a whole lot to report. We have less than half of our staff on campus. Our maintenance department does spend a tremendous amount of money in June and July. But as you will notice in your board packets, there's nothing in the budget. We've got a budget work session coming up on September 3rd. I know you all are as pumped about it as I am. But right now we are working on closing out, finalizing 24-25 so that we can really know where our numbers are so that we can start getting next year's budget together. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Looked rather simple this time, so.
Yeah, it is rather simple. I was doing it and I was like, this looks pitiful.
All right, I'll entertain a motion then.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 3.
Yes, so every year we do this. Usually it comes at the first of each semester. We have teachers who volunteer to work through their prep period because we have students who need some more classes taught, and both of these men have volunteered to do that this year. This is a big deal. It helps these people out with a little bit more pay for the work that they do, but it also helps the district out because otherwise we would either not be able to provide services to these students, or we would have to hire a full-time person to do this. So it benefits both the district and the employee. And I would like to recommend that we approve paying Mr. Brian McCaney, our CAS teacher, Mr. Chris Devers, who I believe is engineering. He's teaching the engineering in the CAS program. as well. And if he, to pay them to work through their preparatory period teaching our students.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Roof repair bids.
Right. So after a vetting process, I'm sorry, I forgot to say, in your packet, you have the tabulation there for the bids that were received for the district. After vetting process, findings and recommendations, we'd like to recommend to accept the bid from Stearman Roofing as presented. This determination came down to really three components after reviewing this with our administration, Randall Bollinger, and then also Mike Spaeth as well. Those three components are the known quality of work. This is a company that we know the quality of work. They've been on time for us before and on budget on different projects that they've done for us in the past. Also, to proximity of the company, being close here in Town, and with any type of follow-up that may occur with that, we feel like that was a strong consideration for this bid. And then lastly, references played a huge role in this as well. Obviously, we're familiar with the work, but also too, they received positive references in their bid as well. So I'd like to recommend to accept the proposal as presented.
Motion to approve.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the Stearman bid. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, can I make one statement right here on this? I want to remind everybody that we are taking bids on this, but the actual payment, we will pay for this and we will be reimbursed by our insurance company due to the hail damage. It is the total cost for the district is going to be $25,000 on this entire project. Just wanted to make that clear that this nearly $2 million is not necessarily coming out of our revenue, but we will get reimbursed by our insurance company.
Thank you for the clarification, I think, for the public as well. So thank you for
Quick
that.
question on that.
Yes.
How long will that take? The reimbursement?
Well, we hope not as long as it did on those walls that we got knocked down by the car that took us almost 2 years. Hopefully, it'll be pretty quick after the completion of the project. As long as my understanding is once the project's complete, paid, and we pay for it and get the final inspection, we can submit all that stuff to the insurance. I will say the insurance has been a part of this process the entire way. So we are not doing this outside of the insurance company and then present it. They have been a part of it since day one. Within the first day or two of the hailstorm, they were on site evaluating roofs, and they were telling us, "You're going to have we got to replace all of this. It's damaged everything." So they've been a part of this the entire time, and so I think it was really important to go out to bid, though, because this is a public project. Even though it's insurance money, it's still public money. So we went out to bid, and this is what we came back with.
All right. Thank you again for the clarification. That has already passed. So we will move on to item number 6. Full Resource Officer, MOU 5. Are we still on 5? I am sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize. Thank you, Dr.
No worries.
McClung.
We have 3 policies for you to review tonight. If you remember back last month, we had informed you that we wanted to delay the adoption of policy 4.20 because we felt like we needed clarification on some of the parameters around that. In the policy, specifically what we looked at changing or what we did change in the policy compared to last month, on page 2, we felt like the term repeatedly interfering needed to be further defined, and we did that in correspondence with our legal counsel. Also, too, as you heard earlier tonight, with the mention of BIST as our behavior program, our behavior intervention team, we felt like that needed to be mentioned in the policy as well. So those items were listed out in the policy 4.20. On policy 3.64, this is the section 3 equivalent of the same policy. So basically, we wanted to make sure that we didn't have conflicting policies in 2 of our sections. So while you did approve this policy last month, we felt like we needed to go back and revise it to match the policy in the student section with section 4, keeping in mind that this is still contingent upon those legislative changes that we saw in the spring, which is why we're bringing it for an update. And then lastly was policy 5.17. This was the policy on honors and honors graduates. So this one was a complete overhaul, and the reason why it was an overhaul was to adhere to the state's guidelines for students graduating with merit and distinction diplomas. We felt like it was important to be aligned with the state and support that initiative. So as you can see in there, this will begin with the class of 2028. And we have the information there as far as what it means to graduate with a diploma with merit and a diploma with distinction, and then merit with honor, and distinction with honor as well. So I'd like to recommend the 3 policy changes.
I'm glad that you pulled me back to that. I even had notes on this one, so thank you for
Yes.
that. Who defined and clarified these?
Yeah, so that was our, which part are you talking about?
Particularly
The three instances.
Particularly
instances.
3.64 and 4.20.
Yep, so that was with our legal counsel with Marshall.
Yeah, legal counsel as well as district leaders. And we had several conversations with people around the district to try to make sure it's right. But ultimately, we sent and had a meeting with our legal counsel and asked him to help us do so that we did not want to get outside the letter of the law in any way, shape, or form. But and we wanted to even know if we could, based on the way the law was written, if we could define those, because those are not defined in the law.
Right.
And so he assured us that we could, and he helped us define those and what he felt like that he could, if he had to go defend us in court, that he had the legal standing to stand up and defend us.
The reason I ask is because if I tried to put myself in the position of a teacher, and this was clarified very well. I was very impressed at, I mean, to me, there's just I don't even find any place for a guess, even a second guess. So I think it was clarified very, very well. So I was just going to give kudos to whoever was in that process, because it was defined well. And I do agree with the reasons why we went back for this, but it was done well, so I appreciate it. Any other comments or questions?
Motion to approve.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Motion carries. All right. Now, number 6.
All right, item number 6. As reported last month at last month's board meeting, we were delayed on getting our MOU over to you for approval for our school resource officers. That was because we were not fully staffed at the time. As you saw tonight, we're fully staffed. So we're bringing an MOU to you I recommend that bring that MOU to you for approval.
Yes. Thank you.
Point of clarification on this is nothing in the MOU changed from last year other than the cost sharing, which was an updated list of salaries based on the officers that we have employed. And I will tell you that the cost of the district is down about $3,000 this year. And where that comes from, it's nobody's got their pay cut. It's our newer officers didn't have quite as much seniority in the pay scale. So the pay scale hasn't changed. It's just they don't have as much, many years of experience. But otherwise, nothing else has changed from years past.
I don't think the level of SROs in districts all across the state, I mean, we're pretty privileged here, right? I've talked to a few other districts, and they don't have the amount that we do. So
Yes, I would agree with you on that, especially talking to other districts. There's all kinds of different ways to configure it, but in our opinion, we've talked about this a lot. We believe we have
we have the best partnership in the state of Arkansas. There are a lot of places that do not have this type of partnership with a PD, and we are very blessed, and we are very thankful the city has made this commitment that our past and current police chief have the same commitment to the SRO program. So it is definitely something we're privileged to have.
yeah, it is. And like Mr. Berthold said with Sergeant Fritz, Mr. McVeigh, the new one, I think I hired him as his first job. He painted the vet clinic out here. So it's nice to see hometown guys that are committed to our district too. So good job. And yes. All right. Do I have a motion to approve that memorandum?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. Number 7, billing and services.
Good evening. It's nice to formally meet you guys. I'm Rebecca Walker. I am Shauna Asensio Porter's co-director of special education, and I am excited to serve in Siloam Springs. It has been an amazing couple of months working with this team and the students and the principals. It's just an honor to serve here. Quickly, Shauna and I would like to just tell you guys what an amazing job that our principals and our special ed teachers, paraprofessionals, related service providers, it's a Herculean effort to get our special ed program up and running at the beginning of the school year, and they've just done a phenomenal job. Tonight, I wanted to visit with you quickly about 2 speech pathology positions that have remained open throughout the summer. And we have been in meetings with Synergy Therapy Group, and they've got 2 speech therapists that live here in Siloam. They've came to our back to school training and actually had very familiar faces all around the room. So they're going to be joining us if you guys approve this motion. Synergy is a company that I've worked with previously, and it's just a top-notch company. So we're excited to have them bring some more Siloam therapists to our team. So I'd like to ask you guys to approve billing services agreement and business associate agreement with Synergy Rehab Group.
Could I ask a quick question?
Sure.
So, and I'm all for this. I think this is great, but just to understand, so we were down 2. Did we have 2 people? Is this 2 that we don't have anymore that we once had, or is this just in addition to kind of help with?
No, they were 2 vacancies from the end of the school
Okay.
year.
All right, gotcha. All right. Well, good. No, appreciate having you here, and thank you for the warm welcome. And yeah, I'll motion to approve unless there's any questions.
All right, I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion's carried. Thank you, ma'am.
So last month, we presented the board some board meeting dates. During the last month, we have realized we recommended to you guys that there are 2 different months that there were some conflicts that needed to be addressed. And so that I would ask that the board approve an updated schedule of regular schedule of board meetings. The 2 months that are in question, one is actually September, so next month, and then one is in February. They coincide with some trainings that people need to be at. So I would appreciate if the board would consider approving the updated schedule of school board meeting dates.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion has carried. Number 9, petition for transfer.
So according to state law, on board-to-board transfers, if the district is at capacity, and capacity is defined by law as 95% of your capacity in services, then the board can deny a board-to-board transfer. A board-to-board transfer is different than school choice. School choice has a whole different set of laws that go with it, and capacity is defined in that law as well, but they're 2 separate things. Currently, and the way this works, we've had a parent has asked to transfer their students to our district. We are at capacity to provide educational services for both of those students. Even if it was just one, we're above capacity. And so therefore, I am going to recommend that the board not approve the board-to-board transfer for these students. Now, by law, we have to vote on these individually, and you can't vote on them in one motion. If you have questions, I'll be happy, but you do have the letter that I wrote to the parent in your board packet, and I will entertain any questions or whatever you guys might have for me right now.
Are there any questions? Comment?
No, I don't have any questions. I mean, that's, it's a shame, but it makes sense to me why that has to be the case. So this is one of those unfortunate decisions that I think just has to be made. So Shane, do we need to make a motion to disapprove this? Or
Not approve the transfer.
Okay.
Or you can uphold my recommendation
Okay.
to not approve.
Do we need to do these separately then? Do I need to make a motion for these by name, or how should I do this?
You do have to say the name.
Okay.
And it individually, you can't do it all at once. So we'll have to do one, have a vote, and then do
Okay.
the second one.
I'll make a motion to not approve the transfer of Alan Tran into the district.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to not approve Nathan Linton to the district.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Both motions have carried. All right. At this time, I will call this meeting into executive session for the purpose of hiring and All right, I'll call this meeting back into open session. License resignations.
I'd like to recommend that the board approve license resignations for Samantha Dill, middle school social studies teacher, Aaron Cole, Northside Elementary pre-K teacher, Leona Crow, intermediate school special education teacher.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion approved. License hires.
I would like to recommend to the board that we approve contracts for Mateo Campanola, middle school social studies teacher, Miss Joanna Trimble, our new food service director, Nilda Stipkovich, middle school Spanish teacher.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion has carried. Before there is any other motion, that is all you have, correct, Mr. Patrick?
Yes.
All right. I know Mr. Nance likes to jump on that.
Motion to adjourn.
Quickly, so before I acknowledge that motion to adjourn, I do want to make a public comment. We have, I just don't say things like this too much, but there are 4 men up here who are just hometown boys. I'm just going to put it like that, okay? We love this town as much as I applauded the resource officers a few moments ago. Are we perfect? No. I wish I could say that I parented perfect, but I did not. I made mistakes. We learn from those mistakes. The Siloam Springs School District is not perfect. We are not. We acknowledge that. But I can tell you for darn sure that we do our very best, and none of us are up here for a paycheck. If I wanted to do something different with my evenings, I would do it, and I would make money at it. But it's not for the pay. And I'm saying this for the public. You all know this, but I'm saying this for the public. We do not take a paycheck, and I don't want a paycheck. I love that I'm able to serve my community in this way. And I just want our community to know that although we are not perfect, we are with the grace and accountability. I'll use that terminology because I like it. Doing our best to make Siloam Springs the absolute best that we possibly can. I believe that with my whole heart. I believe in this team completely. I believe in these guys that I serve with. I believe they have my back. I have theirs. And it is our ultimate goal to see the Siloam Springs School District be the absolute best that it possibly can be. And I just wanted to acknowledge that tonight. I think we have a great leader at the helm of the ship here. And he's always open. If he feels like he needs to be pulled back, he says, hey, tell me. He's on it. So I just want you all to know that I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you gentlemen as well. And I do want the public to know that our hearts are truly in it for the right motivation. And I just felt like I needed to say that tonight. Now I'll entertain your motion.
And I can't thank you enough for saying all that because I know that it's heartfelt between all of us too. So, motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, meeting adjourned.